More of the same. More of the same. More of the same.
The Conversation Hat Podcast.
Hello, welcome to a special supplementary episode of The Conversation Hat. Wow, indeed. It's been an interesting year, like quite a positive, quite a good year. I think we wanted to take the opportunity to reflect and think of what a great job we've done.
Like a big 2024 masturbatory mirror. We want to look at ourselves in the past and feel good.
But are you selling these mirrors?
I can't. I'm ruining the mirrors. I'm certainly making them less reflective.
Okay, Ben's side hustles aside, 2024 was a big year, and I remember thinking, like, it's sort of a year and a half ago, about the time that you moved, Ben. Oh God, yeah. I really don't want to have to do a podcast where we only ever record on Zoom. A bit like we're doing now, but I suppose
it's ironic that we are actually doing that now, post live stream. So
yes,
still feeling a little silly from that.
Oh yeah, but like
opposed to our normal, sensible.
That was kind of the big question towards the end of 2023 was, okay, so Ben's moved. Obviously, we need to think about how we record the podcast, but it also was a bit of an opportunity to kind of revamp our approach to recording, I suppose, because we knew full well that the way to build momentum with the podcast would basically be around batching and having like a regular recording spot and also doing video as well. So I was like, holy cow, how am I supposed to do all of those things? That's ridiculous. But we did. I think we did quite a good job as well. What we ended up doing, and this will be the first thing we talk about, I guess, is the big thing to celebrate through 2024 was we found a nice little home at Earth Studios in Norwich.
Yes.
Little spot just outside the centre of
lovely
Norwich.
Earth Studios. We got a Christmas card from them.
We did.
Have you put it up anywhere?
Yeah, I've put it up myself. It's a lovely spot. We go there once a month. We set up the video cameras, and we have now like a lovely portable podcast setup that exists in one suitcase and a Tesco value bag.
Studio tour, it's a studio tour. Hello, Ben, it's a studio tour.
I'm not wearing trousers. Oh, my legs have gone blue again. No!
It's a studio tour. We're going the back way. It's a studio tour. Oh, fucking stupid. Fucking. You don't know my fucking trousers. Pain in my ass.
Studio tour.
Oh, I'm trapped. No, legit trapped.
Yeah, well,
studio tour. It's a studio tour.
I spent ages putting these up, and now you made them look stupid.
Studio tour. It's a studio tour.
Look.
Studio tour.
You can see the wall.
And you've really half-assed the curtain.
The illusions have been broken.
We've got it down to an art form now. It takes us about 20 minutes to set up. And what I really like about the last year is you can really see us in like the first few videos we put up on like Instagram and TikTok and stuff. You can see we're definitely trying to do something.
I enjoy sort of looking back and seeing what we were doing then. This would be when we didn't have the you call them the drapes. I'll call them the drapes.
The drapes.
We draped them.
Yeah, the first iteration.
The coloured sheets.
Yes.
We just had some gels on some lights.
Yeah, which
on
did,
the white
in
walls,
retrospect,
which did not
work. Did not
show up as much as we thought that they were going to. In my mind, it was like some sort of Hunger Games-esque, like beams of light in the sky.
No,
not so much.
No, I was certain that would work really well. So the first few videos we put out, we were using gels on some very small lights, and it was just us two facing each other in this studio, in this rehearsal space, and we had crappy webcams. But what's ridiculous is these are the webcams that I'm using now, and actually they're quite good. As webcams, they're really rather good. It's just for some reason in that environment they were garbage. So that was like the first couple of times we recorded were really frustrating and made me go, this was perhaps not a good plan. I've spent quite a lot of money and it kind of looks terrible. But then we tweaked it and we ended up with the setup that I'm quite fond of now. And it's interesting, like there's quite a big jump from when we used the webcams to using, because we're using like 15-year-old Canon Handycams. We got 3 of them, and they're not like...
They feel like something that would film things from You've Been Framed on.
Yeah, totally. It's like a family.
If you want that as
camera.
A visual, it's the tiny little
Yeah,
it's Timmy's first birthday.
But because there's 3 of them, and we combine it with my the camera on my phone, like between those, actually we've got quite a good little setup. And because we then brought in the backdrops, the drapes, the drapes that are, when I ordered them, they were the right hex code. These curtains do not reflect the brand colours I was hoping for, but never mind.
I really like them.
Yeah,
I really like the. I think the orange that we got is much brighter than planned, but I like that. I like I like how they not clash, but how they contrast.
Yes. They definitely, they together work really well. They're just not what I, not what I ordered. So we got that. We got the new cameras. We borrowed a lovely table from the studio. Then we had a black curtain on the table as well, which actually adds something. And the ultimate addition to any podcast setup we now know is rubber coasters.
So I just held up a coaster to the webcam as if we're still doing not just an audio show.
No, this will be a video as well, Ben. That's why we're on camera.
Oh, good. In which case?
Yes. It's changed colour now, which is wonderful.
What do you mean?
Oh, God. This is giving me a headache. Oh, my God. What a magic boy he is. Wow. Rubberized coasters so that when we're drinking out of large coffee mugs, we can put them on the table and it doesn't go clunk.
It doesn't go. It goes.
We didn't hear either of those, but thank you.
I'll hold my mic to it then. Hang on.
We don't need to. I think people know. Again, I didn't hear any of that.
Well, that wasn't... Well, I'll just shut up then, shall I?
Marvellous. So it's been really cool seeing the setup evolve, and I don't know what the next iteration of the setup will be, but we'll find out, I guess.
It's a lot of fun seeing how things have changed in a year.
Yeah.
And yes, it does make you wonder,
what's next?
What'll the next 12 months hold for the podcast, for us as humans, for us as a society, for all of us?
That's true. You're not wrong.
It's easy for me to say.
That's thing number 1. And it's also meant that we can consistently put out video content as well, and we're constantly, when you go to any sort of podcast marketing event or any event held by like Podbean, Spotify, whoever, they're always like, we want you to do video, and the response is usually, why am I doing video to promote my audio show? But hey, that's how things are. And actually, we have noticed that it has helped. They were right. It has helped grow and bring
really
in new
annoyingly,
people.
they did know what they were talking about.
I resent it, but that's how podcasts. That's how podcasts are. As well as talking about stuff that's changed in the podcast, some of our big guests, the big stuff that's happened over the last year, I wanted to highlight specific bits from episodes that were just really cool or really funny. So my first one was actually before we started doing video episodes. It was one of the last episodes we recorded in 2023, and it was one of the first ones released in 2024. I am, of course, referring to Big and Weird, which has become
just part of the conversation hat canon ever since.
The tyranny of free books.
Make that man a lord quickly.
Can we talk about poo? This is making me sad.
we certainly can. I mean, we could just dive straight into the question.
Tories come out. Okay, yeah. No,
Weird small talk first.
Weird small talk.
About weird big talk.
What's your weirdest big talk?
Hello!
that.
I'm a large weird man.
Hello, large weird man.
I've only just been born. What do I do? My mother was normal sized, but now she's viscera.
I came out sideways.
Oh, it's another large
But it was
weird man.
meaningless because I'm so big and she's also viscera. Also, the sun's really big. Imagine if it was made of discarded shoes. That would be weird and big, wouldn't it?
Very big.
So weird, so big. I have to have my shoes specially made.
Because they're so big.
Because they're so big, which was
Loading.
implied. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Big!
Oh, and weird.
Probably my favourite thing that's happened in 2024 is the episode with Roman where he totally doesn't have blue tack on his head. Does he, Liam? That would be dumb.
Do you want to see a card trick?
I'd love to see a card trick.
You're going to choose one of these cards.
I'd love to.
So I'm going to flick through. Whenever you say stop, we'll go with the card there. Okay?
Yep. Stop.
It's quite near the top. Are you happy here? Do you want
I'm pretty happy.
to... Okay. Don't say it, obviously.
You could show it to the camera.
And then back on top.
Yeah. So I'm going to try to read your mind. It's a red card.
It is a red card.
It's a diamond. I actually think it's a number. It's an even number. Is that right?
Yep.
It is.
So far, so good.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to get it. I think I got it. I think... What? I think it'll work this time. Is that it?
We had some very cool returning guests and some very cool brand new guests. So making their not first appearances were Tez Ilyas and Tantacrul. Tantacrul, of course, music YouTuber, good friend of mine. It was great to have him back on the show. Do you remember how hot it was, Ben?
I was very sweaty.
Yeah, it was awful. That was one of the few times we recorded in Cambridge, and it was just awful.
Remarkably close, because we had to do it in the Cambridge studio, which has all of your everything else equipment around it. So
very tight space.
I think we were really squished up to the table with the drapes at our nape drapes
and other things that rhymed.
Yes. Yeah, that was a very warm day, but it was a lot of fun to record.
Yeah, he's a great chap. And Tez on his tour dropped
My
in
best
again. Ben's best friend, of course. If only you'd stop threatening his co-stars with violence.
I didn't threaten his co-stars. Look, he said this when we went to go and see him at his tour, that I did imply that I wanted the girl to die. I didn't want the girl to die, but spoilers for Man Like Mabim, if I had to choose Tez's character 8 or the 16-year-old girl, one of them was going to get shot, and I really liked 8. I really wanted him to be fine. I didn't want the girl to die, but so yeah, he called me out on that at his live show that we were at, as was the actress who played the girl in question.
Well done.
I didn't feel great, but no, we've messaged. We're very good friends. We're very good buds. I don't like to brag.
No, that's one thing you should know about Ben. Super modest.
I am the most modest.
Yeah,
No one else is as humble as me.
that's true. He's a regular pie. That's how humble he is, anyway.
Delicious.
We also recorded episodes with Riki Lindhome off the telly.
Yeah, off of the telly.
We didn't go to telly. She came to us, which is nice.
Telly came to us. No, yeah.
That was it up front of her first Edinburgh, which was wild because she's quite well known, and she's, you know, I've seen her in all sorts, and I think quite recently to booking her, I'd seen her on. She has like a couple episode arc on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and as a result, I'd seen her on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and then was amazed that she hadn't previously done Edinburgh. I felt like that was the sort of thing she would have done already, but apparently not. So we got to talk to her ahead of her Edinburgh debut, which was really cool.
Her show Dead Inside got really good reviews.
I think it did, didn't it? Yeah,
like crazy good reviews, which you would expect from someone on her level, but it's. Yeah, if you get a chance to see, go see. I will go see if I get a chance to see.
Big recommend.
I wasn't at Edinburgh.
No, we live slightly south of Edinburgh. And speaking of Edinburgh, we also got to talk to Trigger from Swampleque.
Trigger Happy, yes.
Trigger Happy from Swampleque. Trigger from Swampleque, again in front of their Edinburgh debut. And now, of course, they're doing a UK tour. When this episode comes out, we'll be about to go see them, I think.
We have tickets.
Yeah. Very exciting.
We got tickets. Don't know when. Can't remember when they are. Not going to bother looking up now. It's important.
Definitely Q1 in London.
So in 2025.
That's true. And again, it's very exciting to be able to talk to people like as they're on the cusp of doing really cool things. So Trigger was another really great episode, and we're really excited to see Swampleque in the flesh, the green flesh. And then, of course, Michelle Brasier joined us for a couple episodes. That was particularly exciting. Obviously, I don't want to speak for you, Ben, but I know Michelle from her stuff with Auntie Donna, and she's done quite a lot of stuff with Auntie Donna and also Double Denim. I think she's quite well known in Australia, so it was really exciting for her to.
I have her book.
Oh, do you have a book?
Somewhere in this room, yeah.
Lovely.
It's not out in this country, so it was not cheap for me to get.
But you found a way. Michelle was great. She yelled at us a bunch. And then, again, it was really exciting to talk to her on the cusp of doing her UK tour, which was also excellent. Big fan.
Went to go see that. I made her a cloud egg, as promised.
You did. That's true.
She thought it was hilarious.
She did.
Apparently, I spoke to her after the show. There's always a big long queue, and I did want to have a chat with her. We were the last people in the queue because we went out and had a cigarette. And I'm like, I'm freaking standing and queuing in this warm place for ages. We'll just queue outside, essentially, whilst everyone else goes.
We'll have our own queue. Our own smoky queue.
Our own smoky queue. And I went and had a chat with her afterwards, and she said she remembered that the cloud egg was coming, but couldn't remember what show.
Oh, brilliant.
So, half of the shows that she'd done up to that point, she's like, I wonder if this is the egg. I wonder if the egg man is coming.
Hi. I'm expecting an egg. If you could make sure that egg gets to me, I'd be it might not turn up at all, but if it does...
I've got a cloud egg for one Michelle Brasier. Could you just make sure that she's expecting it? She's expecting the egg.
Oh, yeah, no, she's made us aware. It was on her rider. No red M&Ms. There might be an egg. Fine. Michelle was great, man.
She was a lot of fun. It's nice to meet people that you know and like through the work that they've done, and then they don't disappoint.
Yes, unlike everyone else we've met, who has been a profound disappointment.
Liam does not speak for me in the majority of cases.
You know who you are.
I've never been to Ireland.
Yeah, good excuse.
And the tickets nearby had sold out.
What the fuck is wrong with you? When people are from the United Kingdom and you haven't hopped across on a 100-pound like EasyJet. That's crazy. What
know.
are you talking about? When Australians come to you, we go everywhere.
Yeah.
We're like, well, I'm already there. I may as well go to every single other place. Like, it's just so maddening to us that you have all these countries and you do not go to them.
I don't want to out us here live on the podcast, but we are English and they don't like us
Oh,
in the
no.
rest of the year.
No,
You're
to be fair, they
English?
don't. Yeah.
You guys are English? Wait, what?
Sorry.
Oh, shit.
Anna,
Somebody told me
sorry.
I'd be dealing with the Englishmen.
Wait, no. Quick.
My second pick for 2024 actually isn't from an episode. It's something we recorded just before an episode when Emily Slade joined us a few months back, right before episode 239. We did a Hear Me Out cake. We're very rarely engaging with trends, and we thought this might be a fun one, especially with Emily. So yeah, I'm choosing the Hear Me Out cake with Emily Slade from just before 239. We're the Conversation Hat, and this is our Hear Me Out cake. Does anyone want to go first?
You should.
You should.
Okay.
Okay.
Dobby.
Yeah?
Dobby from Peep Show. We're starting off normal.
Not from Harry Potter.
Darkness from Legend.
Fine.
Christmas pajamas.
Oh, I get it!
Yeah, okay, yeah. The Cadbury Caramel Bunny,
Obviously.
Yeah.
voiced by Miriam Margoyles.
That's not.
What?
That's not weird.
Yes,
I didn't know that.
I know. It's a learning experience.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, the Green Giant from like the Sweet Corn.
Okay.
That little flippy feeling that your tummy gets when you go over an unexpected bump in the road.
I don't like that. I mean, each their
No,
own.
I
I'm not
don't
trying to kink shame.
The Blue the Tiger signature bass guitar. It's blue and sparkly.
Okay, like the whole villain trio from the 1982 musical Annie. Like all three of them.
All three of them. That's a lot.
Toad in the hole.
There's an episode of The Simpsons where for some reason Marge is a panther.
Okay, the John Cleese cat in Fireball Goes West.
Oh.
Okay.
Mr. Pussy
Right.
Poos. The little voice crack that some singers have, like Sia or Lewis Capaldi.
Lego Islander. I'm gonna put her in there.
It's gonna top match. Pollution from Fern Gully.
Fine. Yeah, great.
Lady Club.
Great.
Yes, she's really good at like badminton.
Yeah. She just takes on like 40 rhinos.
I don't think we need to explain any of this. I think we're all fine. I think we've all done very well. Oh, good. Oh, good.
Thanks.
My next favourite thing from 2024 isn't even on the podcast. I touched the recording device and accidentally unplugged it, deleting 40 minutes of possibly the best stuff that we've ever done, and was in a file mood for the next hour or so.
One of the ways we make a tiny bit of money is by talking about podcast production and the products and stuff that we use in podcast production. So, for example, we've got a bit of our blog. Please don't touch it while...
Have we lost everything?
I don't know, Ben. It's off. You should buy Tascam DR40. They basically don't break unless you fucking touch them. So funny. I'm not even mad. Yeah, we lost that one.
Really? Oh, but that was so funny and it had gone on for 40 minutes.
Oh my god. Why would you think it's okay to touch the recorder that we're not sponsored by? But that's not all we did this year, segue. We also managed to put ourselves into other people's shows, which is a weird way to phrase that, but we did.
We did, and it is a weird way to say that.
So I I managed to get on BBC Upload a couple times with the wonderful Rob Jelly to talk about the podcast, how to do podcasts, and that was part of our 200 episode celebration. So we talked about, how do you keep a show running for that long, and we talked about mostly just being a Taurus. I don't believe in astrology, but I am clearly a Taurus. So a couple of appearances on BBC Upload, and then we both went on Why This Film with Emily, who's been on the pod a couple times this year as well.
The best films are always at your nan's house. Were they in like a corner cupboard?
It was one of the little sliding glass ones. Yeah.
They, honestly, all Grand's houses in the 90s had like a little secret cupboard where you'd open up and then like a magical VHS that was by a studio that's now like disbanded.
This
dodgy animation. Yeah.
Very much looking forward to going back on that. That was a lot of fun.
So I've done the first 2 Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings films, and I'm excited to presumably do the third. It's a classic me move to invite myself onto someone else's podcast 3 times. I did that actually again. Me and Sai went on the Soundhole podcast as well with Ross, who we have to get on to Combo Hat at some point. We just need to make the dates work. When me and Sai released some music, and we went on the Soundhole, and it was really funny because we get into the conversation and an hour just flies by, and Ross is like, shall we make this a 2-parter? And I was like, mate, to be honest, I've invited myself on your show once. Let's keep it going. I'm going to invite myself back on. Let's do it. You've got to promote your own stuff, man. No one's going to do it for you. My final podcast pick for 2024 is from episode 215. It is, of course, the bit where I say that Al-Qaeda really nailed it in terms of their goals and their mission statement for 9/11. What I like about this is just that it, I think, highlights the silliness and just the chaos that I think I, in particular, bring to the conversation hat. And I really hope the takeaway from this clip is to never take anything I say seriously. Even when I use my serious voice on the podcast, just don't worry about it. If it's something that I've said, don't worry about it. It's fine. All right.
Are you suggesting that the problem with 9/11 was not enough planes?
Now, I want to get this on the record. I said there were no problems with 9/11. Not a one. No notes, Al-Qaeda. Nailed it.
I didn't think it could get much worse after you going on about the King's Dicky Botty.
In terms of like goal and like achieving your dreams, I would say 1-0 Al-Qaeda. What? They nailed it. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying mission accomplished.
I very much enjoyed the weirdness of the show, particularly when Liam was on about some dude called Fred Dibner that I'd never heard of, and we called our old friend Richard Jackson on the podcast when he was, I think, having dinner with his mum.
Fred Dibner was famous for 2 things. He liked to climb up chimneys, and he liked to explode them chimneys. Fred Dibner. And he had a TV show where he'd go around industrial estates. If there was a chimney there, you better believe he'd climb it. And then you had to do everything within your power to get him to not blow up that chimney. That was his whole thing. Most of what I remember from my childhood is the Archers and Fred Dibner blowing up chimneys. He was a steeplejack, Ben, in the war.
Yes.
Fred Dibner.
No, I'm afraid that I don't know the man from the telly that your family watched, who died 10 years ago.
If you say it like that, I'm tempted to get you to phone Jackson. But I think he might be on the set.
Hello, mate.
Hello, darling. How are you?
All right. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. You are currently on the Conversation Hat podcast.
Oh, okay. All right, hold on.
Liam's got a question for you.
Good.
The next voice you will hear will be Liam's.
Good.
Hello, Richard. This is Liam.
Hi, Liam. This is Richard.
I've got a very simple question for you. It's just a yes or no answer is all I need, but it does very much affect the future.
This is amazing. Yes, please, hit me.
Do you know who Fred Dibner is?
Yes. Yes. Of course. The famous steeplejack Fred Dibner, who fixed, by the way, excuse me, who fixed the chimney at the what's now the Museum of Technology in Cambridge by the River Cam. There was an episode about it.
There was an episode about it.
Hey, Mum. Fred Dibner, everyone knows who Fred Dibner is, right? Yeah. All right, just checking with my mum.
Normally for this kind of thing, I would say, hey, what are we planning for next year? But truly, we haven't thought past this episode. So if anything interesting happens next year, I want you to know it wasn't on purpose.
We've got fun things planned.
Yes.
Not necessarily linked to the podcast. We've got a lot of life stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
I myself am taking December off.
Yes.
From everything because I am a gnat's fart away from a burnout, and I do not want that to happen. So I am. When we finish this, we'll say goodbye to each other, and then I will unplug my laptop, turn off my phone, and not be contactable for at least 14 days, I reckon.
Cool. Well, that's good, 'cause we've got a thing in a few weeks, so...
Yeah. Yeah, I'll speak to you about 2 days before that.
Yeah, fine. We don't need to plan. Don't overthink it.
We got some cool stuff coming up, I think.
Yeah. I mean, you've hit on something there, actually. Like, the conversation that is actually a great creative endeavor that is now, thanks to the work we've put in for the last year and a bit, like super consistent. I know exactly how much time I need to spend on it every month, every week. We do that, the show goes out. And other than that, it kind of takes care of itself. I don't need to do much more than that. And I'm really grateful we're in that position. More of the same. More of the same. More of the same. That was very special. Ben, I would like to finish.
Okay, bye.
So we will. I'm grateful for how consistent it is. I think the goal for 2025 is to just keep that going. Truly.
Yep.
We're at a good point with the batching as well. Yeah, I think it's all good. I think just trying to continue. That's the big goal for 2025. Same again, please. Yeah. We'll do that. Celebrate good times. Come
More
on.
of the same.
More of the same. More of the same. More of the same. That was very special. Ben, I would like to finish.
Okay, bye.
So we will.